everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy. I have, as usual, a most fantastic panel. And of course, we're talking about relative race. We are on season 12, and we're on day 4. Woohoo! Shelley's got her bands. I got my bands. We're really hoping for some bling at Roots Tech this year because the rest of us have been asking for bling and we haven't been getting it. So we're hoping to get some at Roots Tech. Alrighty, so we're on day 4. We've got some scary things going on because we've got teams with more strikes than we would like for them to have. So they're at risk of getting a 3rd strike and leaving the show, and we don't want that to happen. Not this early. Oh my gosh, we don't want we never want anybody to leave, but it's got to be like day 8 or day 9 or something like that. We never want anybody to leave this early. As we start for day 4, I liked that Team Red was able to Zoom. She'd Zoomed her sister and they were able to talk to each other. And I thought that was beautiful. That was so beautiful. And get the pictures and show the picture of the grandfather. And then she said you can have that picture of the grandfather. How beautiful was that? I loved that. That was so nice.
That's when the tears start.
Oh, I know. Well,
the eyes were filling up.
No, I tell you, how many times have I told you? This is me knocking on the door. Do do.
So was their story? I was a little confused. So they had the mom and the aunt. They had the same dad, but a different mom, and they hadn't seen each other since they were little kids.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so she always wanted to know what happened. And so this was kind of a surprise meeting because she didn't think she was going to meet anybody on this trip because this was for Giselle, not for her. And so, and I love when they do that on the show. I love when they do that on the show. Surprise somebody with a relative. So
and we'll talk about that in a minute.
I
have something to add on this one before you move forward.
Yeah, sure.
I thought it was great, but Taquita, if that's how you say her name, she was like laying out the new rules for the moms. Like, this is what's going to happen. We're all going to have a relationship. We both need you two. Yeah. So this is what's going to go down. I loved it because they weren't like, we're hoping you could get along.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, somebody's got to take charge. So apparently she's a take charge kind of lady. And so
there you go.
Hats off to her. She did a great job.
Yeah. That was good. That was fun. And I'm so glad that they got to meet because, it's nice that the teams have somebody to support them when they're not both looking for somebody. But when that support person gets to meet somebody, I think it's just above and beyond. I think that's
I have a question. Are Red Team the only friends? Or are they?
Yes.
They're the only friends this season, right?
And they're the only friends that hadn't met each other beforehand. So they were strangers, yet not.
Yeah, they knew each other virtually, but that was they didn't know.
Yeah.
Hadn't met
and because last year you had so many pairs.
Right.
So, exactly. And it just hit me. Wait a minute, they're friends.
Yeah.
It's like me and Melissa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, or maybe Melissa. None of us have actually met that in person.
No.
Let me see.
GenFriends meetup. We need a GenFriends meetup at Melissa's house.
At Melissa's house. That's right.
Yeah. Schedule one. We will do
that room she's in.
That would be so much fun. We'll have to do a road trip, ladies. We'll have to plan.
Now in that video call, they found out that there was an additional sister and brother.
Correct.
Yes.
So more family.
More family. I love that they did that. Now we've got to remember too that as they get started, that Team Green had got that advantage from last week because they came in, and it was Get Out of Town. So they had to choose between Get Out of Town and the mystery And they chose to get out of town because they were in the backwoods of Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania. And I mean, we saw them drive up, and we were scared they would never get out of there ourselves without falling down the mountain. So they chose that, and that gave them a minute of looking at their
GPS.
GPS.
60 seconds.
Yes.
They couldn't write anything down.
No.
There is no way under that pressure I would have been able to do that. My brain would have been so fried. But wasn't it really cute when they were looking at it? Did you see her? She was the relative, the aunt. She was going
And verifying it with the husband.
Yeah, it was so cute while they were going to do that. She was like, well, it helped. They got out.
Yeah, but what did they get into?
Blocked road.
That
Interstate was shut down
It
completely.
made
crazy.
me wonder when they set that time. You know, they say you've got 4 hours and 3 minutes or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
And when did they establish that time? Because if they had known that there's construction this week,
Yeah.
but if they said it 2 months ago that we test
Right,
drove
exactly.
it, and this is what it
And
is.
that's right. And you know, and we've heard from others that they just use Google Maps. They don't even test drive it. They just
Well, it
go
could have been a
on.
wreck. Maybe it wasn't construction, a planned construction. Maybe it was a wreck.
Yeah.
I think they said it was.
I know they said it was
construction.
I
construction.
think
did
it
they?
was
Okay.
construction
I didn't hear
though,
that.
But
because
who
it
knows?
was multiple,
It
was kind of both ways too.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for him because you could just see it. I mean, because
Yeah.
we've all had that happen to us where we're driving and you just can't get anywhere. And then so you turn around and you keep driving. You're like, you still can't get anywhere.
Are they the ones with the 20 miles out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back
Yes,
in?
20 miles out, right? And so you kind of pretty much knew their day was not going to go well because that was just awful.
And it
but
didn't.
it's just part of the game. And it just is what it is. And I know that in seasons past, people got mad and say you should have added extra time for them because of the traffic, but that's just not the way the game
It's
works.
part of the game. But remember, we're playing a game.
Yeah.
50,000 at the end.
That's
Yeah.
right. So
It's a competition.
But it's like a game of chess, and it's like one of the players is the relative race because they determine the places and things like that.
Yeah.
But Google Maps, I mean, if you tell Google Maps I'm going to leave on Wednesday at 9 a.m., it factors
That's
that kind of stuff into the equation.
True. So when did they do it? That's a good point that Mary Mary from MKR Genealogy. I didn't even introduce y'all. I do this all the time. Did I introduce you guys? No, because I'm so excited about talking about relative race. So thank you, Mary from MKR Genealogy. And thank you, Laura from Treasure Chest of Memories.
And you said Shelley Murphy Family Tree Girl.
And Jenny Hawran from Herding Cats and Melissa Barker, our archive lady. Thank you, ladies. You guys have got to keep me straight. But true confessions, I have got jet lag real bad. So I told them
We're gonna have to get this over with before you. I'm worried now.
I wonder now about
when I collapse, right?
I wonder now about the GPS time that they had.
Yeah.
And I'm horrible at this, so don't if I'm wrong. If they had access to GPS, does that mean they would have had access to know if there was construction somewhere?
They should have.
Yeah.
And I think that's
That's what I'm wondering if they didn't ask it or see it or what.
Somehow they must not have seen it.
Well, they were trying to get to the freeway,
Address.
and it didn't depend on the app too that they were using.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah, it
apps
would.
tell you.
And she did say later, or one of them said later, it was still a very good choice to get them from this remote house to the freeway.
Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't think they'd be able to get from there.
That way.
Yeah. They were more focused on getting from the house to the freeway and not from the freeway anywhere else. So they probably didn't even bother to look at what was going on the freeway.
Well, who would have thought that? I heard it was all closed, but you know.
It was awful.
Are we gonna talk about?
We will. We'll get there. We'll get there. We got to get to the challenge first. We got to get them on the road. We got to get them all on the road, and then we got to. Then we got to talk about the challenge. I really loved that Callie felt like she really needed to talk to Andy.
I
Yes.
know. I love that.
That was so
That was good.
sweet.
Mhm.
That was so sweet because she was worried about how he was feeling about his biological family saying, but do you notice how they cleared that
Paternal.
little bit up? They didn't want to be on the show. Remember we talked about at the beginning that maybe it wasn't that she just didn't want to see him, but maybe she just didn't want to be on the show. And that's what he said.
Mm.
They don't want to be on the show. And so I'm hoping that means he still gets to meet them. Because
Are you sure that wasn't green? It wasn't
he said
Callan?
it. I'm pretty sure he said it too. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
said it.
Kelly's, I think her family
Hers don't.
didn't want
She
anything
had
to do with her.
anything to do
Didn't
with
want
them,
any
but I-
Maternal side
identification.
rejection.
But I could have
Yeah.
sworn that his side was pretty much the same thing. They didn't want to be on the show, but I apologize if I'm wrong, but that wouldn't be the first time. It
Mm.
won't be the last time.
Be like the third ever.
Yeah. So, but I kind of thought that because I thought, well, good. That means it's not just him, you know?
Right.
I remember thinking that. So, but how sweet of her to think of him.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I
She knew that
call-
pain.
Yeah, that is a lot of pain. And I also found what she said interesting is that this was a second rejection because somehow in their
Mhm.
psyche, they remembered that first rejection of being taken away or being left, whatever the case may be. And I thought, wow, that is really profound, you know? But
It is.
she said that she had been going through a lot of therapy and had come to that conclusion that they already had felt the first rejection.
Mhm.
So I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was
Mm.
beautiful that she took the time to reach out and talk to him.
The
So
only thing that bothered me by that was him FaceTiming while he was driving. Like, well, every
Yeah,
time
but
he
it
kept
could have
looking
been-
over, I was
wasn't
like,
it
watch the
audio?
road, watch the road.
that is hysterical. I didn't think about that, but you're right. He was doing that while he was driving. Blue team, I think they did a great job driving. They didn't seem to have any trouble or anything. They were asking who asked somebody asked somebody really interesting this time, and I can't remember. Now I can't remember who it was. I wrote it down. It was somebody that nobody had asked before, and now I can't remember who it was. But I just thought that was brilliant to ask.
About his mother still being alive.
No. About how to get to where they were supposed to be.
Callie went into a gas station or
Gas
something.
station,
Yeah.
but somebody went someplace, and I can't remember now where they went that nobody has gone before. And I can't remember now. Maybe it'll pop into my mind in a minute, but
Because they went to Chattanooga, Tennessee.
maybe it was
Mhm.
Team Green. But no, I can't
They went
remember.
to Pittsburgh.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember, but somebody asked an interesting, because I know the blue team had some people out on the street and said they were asking people out on the street. But I don't remember. There was somebody. I don't remember. And the team black, I turned by turn directions from somebody, so I know it wasn't them. So I'm thinking it was team green, but I just don't remember who.
But Team Green was the construction one.
Yeah, they got stuck in
Yeah.
construction. I'm just saying who did they ask for directions, and it was really cool, but I can't remember now. But anyway, so they get to this challenge. Guys, could we do this at a family reunion?
That would be a fantastic one at a family.
That was cute.
That was so cute with the braids. It was so fun.
You know, I even thought about you could take
Brady locks. It was called
could-
Brady locks.
you could even take and get materials that are like a lot smaller and do like a tabletop
Oh yeah.
type
Mhm,
challenge
mhm.
instead of a great big huge one like that. You
Yeah.
could use yarn or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
it
they
is
need
a
to go off.
phone game.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
It is it's an app on phone.
That's what one of them said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she
don't-
said
I
she
don't have
plays
but
it
I've
all the
seen it.
time.
Yeah. So
Oh, but they all seem to do quite well on it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Tanisha said, well, I know how to braid, and I know you have to start from the bottom and you have to, right? And do
Right.
it that way. So I thought they did pretty good. And it was challenging enough to be challenging, but not so stressful that they were on like at the end of it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
They seem to have a good time doing it.
Mhm.
And nobody timed out. That's the
good.
first for a while. Nobody timed out. They seem to enjoy it and get through it fast, but we don't know with editing. But it seemed to be that they all got through it really, really fast.
I was super curious.
Yeah, Mary?
I was super curious to know whether it was the exact same knot that they
Ah.
used, you know, whatever, and like this. And did all the teams start out exactly the same way? I didn't bother to go back and
You
look.
could go back and do
Yeah.
a screenshot of each one.
Each one
I
and
know.
see.
And I'm not sure we
That'd
saw
be such a Mary thing to do.
It would be.
And report back to us, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelly, what were you gonna say?
And no, wait, she's
I'm
got to
not
do a
sure we-
whole. She's got to do a whole presentation on the knots.
Untangling the
Yes.
roots.
There you go. There's your new
That's right.
title.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
right, Shelley. We'll have to do it for the GenFriends family reunion. It's going to
Yeah,
be a
that's right.
tree
We'll do a
with
GenFriends.
It's gonna
multicolored
be the
roots.
branches and the roots.
All the roots are
Oh
gonna
my
be
gosh,
colored.
guys, we need to talk about this off, but wouldn't it be so funny to get together and put together some GenFriend games and
Yeah.
games and just wouldn't it be so much fun? We've got to do this. We got to plan ahead. We got to plan
When we go to Melissa's house.
and then when
Yes.
we go to Melissa's house and we'll film it. We'll do
She's
a
in the- are
GenFriends
you in
from
the
there
country,
so that everybody can
Melissa?
see what we're doing. Okay, we're planning this. We're planning this. Okay, but we got to get through day 4 before we can plan it. So
Gotta get through this day too.
Exactly. Okay, thanks, Laura. Okay, so we get them to their relatives' houses. Most of them, I don't think anybody really had a hard time getting there. Did they have a hard
Everybody
time?
did good.
Everybody did really
Green
good.
was the only one just on the timing.
Yeah, they did really, really well. So which team would you like to start with? About their relative?
Team Black.
Team Black. Yes.
Oh.
Team Black. Oh my gosh. Team
It was
Black.
awesome.
That was just so wonderful. Who wants it? Who wants some?
So
Go ahead, Mary.
she met a cousin on her mom's side, and they looked alike, which I
Oh
thought
my
was just really
gosh.
fascinating.
Yeah.
And there really was a
Yes.
very strong resemblance, and they both
Yes.
saw it, and
Yes.
I could even see it. And it was really nice for him to be so helpful. Her mother's family doesn't want anything, and the wording of the whole thing I found very interesting. He showed her a picture, and
Yeah.
I mean, the way that identified people was kind of with relationships, no names, no
Right.
nothing, no, you wouldn't
He
see
was
the picture,
very
it's totally unidentifiable,
Yes.
but that she
Right.
got that much. I mean, she made a connection with a biological relative that was
Yes.
so important to her.
That looked like
And-
her, she said. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
and that,
So her mother and her grandmother.
yeah, she
Yeah.
was able to at least see what her family looked like, and that was
And
something.
she said that she said, I came into this knowing that I would not
Mhm.
right.
have anything, see anything, get anything, whatever. So I think they really surprised her with this one.
Yeah. But he was her grandmother was his godmother. So
Yeah.
how does that make you a cousin?
Well, it's
Well, that-
because
They were sisters.
They were sisters, and
Yeah.
sisters-
Okay, because
it was
when he
more than
explained
just that.
I sat
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
said,
more-
wait
yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
So
Laura.
I missed
Yeah.
that was later it came out that they were
His grandmother and her grandmother were
Her
sisters.
sisters. Mhm.
So what I thought was really interesting, because I can't imagine how to feel, but so at one point her cousin Doug had said that he is completely convinced that it was out of love.
Mhm.
And she kind of sent messages back to her mother.
Yes.
And most of them weren't like, I mean, she said, thank you for that. And I would have expected
Thank
her
you
to
for
say,
my life. Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. But her message was, I've thought about my mom every day,
Okay.
and I've always worried that she's okay.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's universal or not for, for
Yeah.
people to wonder about. I mean, I know the wondering, did they love me? Why did they give me up? But really, that's what seemed to be putting her brain to rest, was more him saying, your mom's okay.
And I guess maybe it depends on what things she's heard about her mom. And maybe there's things that she's heard about her mom that they haven't explained on TV.
Sure, they wouldn't want to, right?
Yeah, that might have something to do with it. That's just,
And we've heard that before.
yeah. And he
Where
was
they worried about
intimated
their
that
biological
yeah,
parent.
that she has had some issues and she has problems and
Yeah.
but her parents had been there to help her all the way. And so
Yeah.
I wondered that having him involved and almost as a go-between,
Right.
but having her the opportunity to say that publicly.
Yeah.
What I want, what I need, what I don't want, and not to hurt you, and whether that can make a dent in her mother's armor, that maybe that she will be able to come to want to meet her.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I was starting to feel so badly because she was apologizing, saying I didn't mean to, disrupt her life, and I was so glad that he, kind of circled right back, and just said, she made, this decision, thought it was the best thing, and she's had but you could see, that it's still in her head that, she doesn't want to bother, she kind of is taking that on herself. And I know he was trying really hard to just reassure her that he was so happy that, that they had connected, and that, that her mother's things were her mother's things, and she did what she thought was best, and that seemed to give her some peace, and the fact that she said, if you could take something back with you, and I think that was just such a healing thing for her. And what did she say? Someone came and someone showed up. That was just like
somebody showed up, and there went the tears.
It was just really
Did
beautiful.
you love Pat? Every time they showed his face, he was just so thrilled for her. He was just so thrilled and so happy, because they were so shocked that this happened. And not to jump too far forward, but just enough to where they introduced the cousin to Dan. Dan lost it.
He did. Yeah.
Dan lost it and he was so grateful. He said, for you to do this kindness for this person that you'd never met before, but show her this kind of kindness to help her, kind of on her journey, to give her peace, is just something. And this one goes, oh, okay, you guys, but with him, it always feels real. It never feels like, okay, this is when you cry, Dan.
No, it was
this
real.
is part in the script that you cry. And so I didn't want to jump too far ahead, but I thought that was really special.
Do you think her mother's watching?
I hope so.
I wonder that of the ones that aren't participating, but, and again, as a mom.
Yeah.
And even though I might not want to be on the show, if that's the whatever reason it is, but they're watching it just like we are. I mean, there could have been something else that's happened since the show ended, but maybe not.
Well, see, I think having the cousin as a participant in it makes it more likely. If it had all been about Pat, then I don't think that they're, but this is like, hey, I was on this show, you might want to watch it.
Yeah, you want to watch it. And
absolutely.
For a lot of these people, a lot of the times when, and I don't mean these people disrespectfully, a lot of people, when they place their children in foster care or up for adoption, they've had a very hard life. They've done some things they're not proud of. And maybe being on a TV show is, oh yeah, my friend, people are going to recognize me for that person of who I was then. Do you know what I mean? And maybe there's the fear of that too, of bringing back all that, I'm trying to get my life. Maybe the people around me don't know that these things have happened. And if I'm on a TV show, people are going to hear some stories that I don't want them to hear. Laura?
Yeah, this is kind of just piggybacking on what you said. And it might not even just be the publicity of the TV show of there was a chapter in my life that is in my past. And I just don't have the wherewithal to face that. So when I hear you, I don't remember who said it, maybe it'll make a dent. I think there can be a dent that doesn't mean, oh, we're going to get together and be happily ever after, but just an emotional dent to realize that there's a person out there that there's that unconditional love out there. That even if the mother never changes her mind, the biological mother never changes her mind, but it still might be this emotional gift of there's someone out there that still loves you, never met you. And I think that I was really impressed with Callie. I mean, we've seen her go day 3 from the heights of happiness for her brother.
Yeah, and she's always for him, right?
Yeah, so excited for him though, because it's everything she wanted too.
Right. Exactly. They are so fun to watch.
So what about the surprise for Team Green? What about Andy?
That was totally, at first it was like, stepmother, sister, what?
When that sweet little
great.
said, I'm your sister. I was like, whoa, what?
And 13 years old or whatever.
Well, go back a second in case people.
Hey, Laura wants us to go back for a minute.
Just in case people aren't watching, so the first lady that comes out says, I'm your stepmom.
Yes.
And you could just see the brain just froze, like the ears were like.
Like you're my age.
And then there's this beautiful young girl and they said, and this is your sister, Angeline. So I'm sorry, Shelley, I was just.
No, I'm agreeing 100% because I'm not sure. The froze is a good word. I'll say it that because we all did it.
I know.
And if you watch the recording like I did, you even backed up to it again to make sure you heard it right.
And what a sweet girl.
She was something.
Was so awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to beat him at what was the game? And then I want to get to know him better. I want to beat him at Uno and get to know him better. I love that part.
Yeah.
The first thing that she said about him is I want to beat him at Uno.
But they did talk about the father and the reason they had to fly them down. You know, like we talked about before, they have to place the teams to make it a race. They have to put them in places that they don't normally live.
And I think this is one of the first times, or maybe the first time, that they actually said it on camera.
Yeah.
They had to fly.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah. And the dad couldn't come because he's in the hospital. Apparently he's just he's had a stroke and he's had a heart attack and he's just,
he's had a couple of organ transplants.
Yeah, one thing after another, and they're just not sure how much longer. So I really hope they get him to the hospital to see his dad.
Yeah.
I really hope that one of these.
I'm sure they did.
I'm sure. I can't imagine.
And I think, and I think he had some closure too, because his stepmother said, hey, when we got married, he said, I have a son.
Yes.
So just to be validated,
it
was really important to him.
Wonderful. I loved the photos that they did, the little photo shoot that they showed at the end, where they were standing by, looks like they were overlooking a river or something, and just the hugs and the those
it's
pictures.
The confluence of now I can't think of what they are. It's the confluence of the Nangahala and the Vide, Ohio, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
My husband's from Pittsburgh, and he always says it, and I should be able to.
Three River Stadium.
That's where Three River Stadium is right at the confluence.
Yeah. I just thought those pictures were just beautiful pictures. So
they had something in common.
I was just go ahead, Melissa. I was just going to say that. Go ahead, Melissa.
Andy and his sister, Angelina, had a common in that they were writers.
Yes.
And so I always think it's fascinating that these relatives find such, and then they're not just kind of common, they're like specifically common.
Yeah. And she was so cute because they said he wrote a book, and she goes, then I got to read it.
I've got to read it. Yeah.
So cute. And I liked how Dan said, everybody in America was going, oh,
yeah.
So sweet. He was she was very, very sweet. So I really do hope that the time will come when they'll be able to go and meet the dad, that we'll get to see that. He'll get to see his dad before anything else happens. So, and they've been to hospitals before, so it won't be the first time. So hopefully they'll be able to do that. Let's move on to Team Red. And we had another sister, or Giselle. Well, it was her niece.
She met her niece.
Met her niece who told her about her sister, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the niece was telling about how great her mother was and all the fun things they used to do. And she caught on pretty quick. She said, "You keep saying was." So is my sister still alive? And of course, she had to tell her no. And then that was really hard. And she kind of broke down for a few minutes. Her niece just broke down for a while. I mean, that's hard.
It's hard
to be able to be the one that gives that news. But I think that by the end, I think they were bonding. They seemed to be bonding really well. They looked a lot alike. You could tell that they were family, and
got to see pictures of her sister, so that was good.
Yes, those pictures were wonderful too. So all those pictures of when she was little, and she could kind of see her personality, and she goes, "But I'll get to know my sister through my niece."
Yes,
have my niece. And so that was a hard one. I think that was a really hard one. It's always hard when they have to tell them that somebody has passed away, and sometimes they've just missed them by weeks or months, maybe just a year or something, and they've just barely missed them, and it's just very sad. So
I thought it was Nikita, it was sad for her, I think, because I don't know when her mother died.
Yeah,
but
they didn't really say
it seemed like the wounds were pretty raw.
Yeah.
And she was
a year.
A year.
Was it a year?
Remember, she made a comment about a year ago or a year or something. There was something about a year. It was still raw.
Yeah. But I don't think she could have found, a better person to kind of confide in.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's really going to help. I think that's really going to help her to kind of process through that. They can help each other. So that was a sad, but you could see the budding relationship start, and hopefully that will continue, and we've heard from contestants before that things start out good and then later on maybe not so good, but I mean, it happens. It's real life. Just because somebody is your biological brother, sister, mother, father, whatever, if you haven't been around them for very long, they're strangers really to you. And so sometimes it takes a while to build those relationships, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't. And I think that's important for people to know too, that it's not always a big one, happy family. It sometimes it takes a lot of work.
Could be high too.
Yep. Patience and a lot of work. Alrighty, let's get to Team Blue. I'm so excited for Mitchell. That was wonderful.
Wonderful.
Who'd like to talk to us about Mitchell? Finally, he gets to meet a relative.
Well, he met his. Go ahead.
Oh, he met his aunt, whose name is Jessica, his mother's sister, and through the backstory of everything that happened, she's kind of in the same boat as he is, because she's been looking for her sisters. And she was the youngest, but he did ask her. He said, she told him the last name, Solis.
And he knew that name. He says,
I knew his mother's name.
Yeah.
He remembered. Yeah.
But so
she's still alive.
She's still alive. And then a little bit later, she told him, she said, I talked to your mom about you, and said she was screaming, my baby.
Yes.
So
great. So hopefully we'll get to see her on the show. But yeah, it sounds like the mom left, and then the dad left, and she was split apart from her sisters. And so she's been looking for her sisters. So she's been having her own little relative race thing going on the side. And so again, relative race has done it again, where it's a double-sided story. And so hopefully hopefully they'll bring them all together. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great if he meets his mom and then they find the other sisters? They have this one big family reunion for both of them. Come on, Relative Race, you can do it. We know you can.
Yes,
You've done it before. You can do it this time. So I think wouldn't that be super cool for all of us to see? I think that would be
Yeah, it just seems like there's been a lot of sadness through a lot of years for the family.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it sounds like. They need each other. They absolutely need each other. So, well, Laura does not know. Laura does not know the results. But before we talk about the results, whoever wins, comes in first place, gets to choose. And this time they can choose the mystery prize. I'm really starting to like this, how it's working. I'm liking this, or one of the other prizes. Okay, so we need to
keep. It's like a game on top of a game.
A game on top of a game, right? Right. And so,
or a challenge on top of a challenge.
They have to really think about, what these titles mean and what it may mean to them and help their game. So as the results come in, he did the results really, really kind of quick. He just kind of said, boom, 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 instead of Vinny kind of waiting for a few minutes to see. But anybody want to let Laura know the results? Who would like to do results?
I want to make a comment before the results come out.
Okay.
I want to know what y'all thought about that attitude look on the face when they found out what the mystery thing.
Oh, I know.
Remember they built up about.
Let's
go through the results and then I agree with what
you saw it. Okay.
I agree with what you're saying. Yikes.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Okay, wait. First, do you want first place?
Yep, first place.
First place was black.
Black team.
And remember, they had 2 strikes.
That's right. We're so
this
happy.
was critical.
It was good for them.
Number 2, you want to take a guess?
Blue.
Red.
Red.
2 is
Red's just kind of hanging in there,
3, third place was blue, and green got the second strike.
Yes.
Got it?
Now we got 2 teams that have 2 strikes. I hate this.
Yes, this is so quick.
This is not good. This is too early. And so Laura, guess what the mystery prize was?
Well, yeah.
You ready for this?
Well, wait, set the scene.
Yeah.
Because remember, green had the option last week of doing the mystery or the
get out of town.
Out of whatever.
Get out of town.
Right?
Yep.
Now, Cheri, go for it.
It was immunity.
Yes. Next. Yeah.
They could have not gotten that strike had they chosen.
And Lizzie's face said it all.
She said it all. And I went, oh my God.
Because didn't she want the mystery or was it? Yeah.
She talked it into it.
Basically,
he wanted the mystery.
Or was it he wanted the mystery?
He wanted the mystery.
Okay.
He wanted the mystery and he went with the wife.
Yes.
Yep.
And they kind of built that up a little bit.
Yeah, they ran right on her face.
I did the part where Dan was kind of giving them grief about it.
I wonder what their conversation was after that. But you know what? It's a game.
But it was also stressful. They had the whole construction stuff, all of that, and then immunity for the.
They had immunity.
It was bad.
But now it's up for anybody to choose.
No, Black
Team Black took it
because they took it.
Yes. So they have no matter what happens,
they have immunity next
or today.
Day 5.
Yeah.
They have immunity.
Exactly. So they'll live to see another day. So
that was huge.
We've got to it was huge. So we've got to really worry about Team Green. Because I want to see the dad. I want to see other people. I do not want them going home.
No, I don't want any of them going home.
I know. I don't want. It's too early. It's way too early.
Yeah, wait till 8.
Even if we get the golden ticket, we still are going to miss too much this early on. So we need. Yeah,
does blue have any?
No, and neither does red.
Red and blue do not have strikes.
So unfortunately,
so it was green and black.
Yeah. So unfortunately, on day 5, we really need red or blue to get a strike.
We do. We really do.
We love you, but we really
Yeah,
Big one for the team.
Yes.
that's right. That's right.
And that's critical because that's so early.
It
So
is
if
early.
in week 5, one of those teams are out, you know, because of the third strike, we're going to be hearing and watching only 3
Yeah,
go
exactly.
through.
They should get their golden ticket. So we'll do one more with whoever, like if they go.
Well, do we know that they're even doing golden tickets?
We don't know.
No, but let me tell
Yeah.
you something. If
There
they
will be
did
a
it,
fan revolt. if they don't.
exactly. There would be a fan revolt. That is
Are you
not
listening,
to be-
relative Race?
It's
Why don't
over,
you
Shelley.
Do a permanent golden ticket.
Yes.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
those people have blocked out the time.
Yeah.
Don't let them go for the
Yes.
prize. That's fine, but let us
Right.
see the
Yes.
relatives.
Yeah,
I agree.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because Dan, it's all about family.
that's right.
And us. We want to see.
Oh gosh.
We're trying.
Right back at it.
We are trying so hard.
So anything that we may have missed, were there any comments or quotes or anything that in my jet lagged brain that I didn't write down? I think we did a great job of covering all the teams. I'm
Yeah, I think
happy
we got it all.
I'm so happy for everybody that they met, and yeah, it was a good show for everybody. It just really
And
nobody
people know they have a parent alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that is golden. That's golden. I mean, that's what they
Yeah.
want. That's and they know that they want to meet them.
Yes.
Right.
That's even better. That's even better. So, and that they will be happy to meet them. So anyway, all righty. Can you believe it? We've made it to, these always go by so fast. And I say that every
It does.
By fast.
It's so fast.
I
The
say it every
season is going fast.
before we know it, we're going to be talking to the winners, and it's just going to be here before we know it. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, I thank each of you for joining me, and I thank all of our viewers, and we love your comments, and we love when you answer us and correct us. I need correcting all the time. So let us know what you thought of the show, and really
Make sure you like and subscribe.
you can subscribe, exactly. And again,
Ring the bell.
Yes.
I gotta get a bell.
anybody that's on the team this year, on the teams, we would love to hear from you. So a couple of you have, and we appreciate that. And so talk to get on your I know you've got a group chat. So tell them to watch Relative Race and come on and give us some answers to our questions.
Watch GenFriends, not watch Relative. Well, watch both.
Oh.
Watch both. Watch GenFriends and come on and keep us.
So if you happen to miss it, you can always come to GenFriends.
That's
That's
right.
right. Absolutely.
Hear
And
the
remember, you're all
recap.
invited. We always want them to know they're always invited to come on, but we have to
Mhm.
wait until you legally can tell us something. And so we
Yeah.
always hope that that's when you get to day 10, because we never want anybody to get 3
Mhm.
strikes and go, we got 3 strikes. Now we got to go on GenFriends. No. We want you. We want you all the way through. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We would love to hear your comments and your favorite parts of this show. Relative Race, not GenFriends.
Mhm.
Of day 4. Laura says, yeah, get her off the screen. Put her to bed. She's
Oh.
so done.
Nighty
Anyway,
night, Cheri.
Yes.
bye everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
Stop the recording, Cheri,
on
quick.
GenFriends. Bye everybody.